This event is put together by Reclaim Enlightenment, which, as many of you know, is trying to get people to look at a history different from the one that's so familiar to our own history here in NI. And the fruits of that work are beginning to be shown in things like the statue of Frederick Douglass around the corner, and the Clifton House project up the road a wee bit, and of course the new statue of today's dedicatee, Mary Ann McCracken, who did great things for education in this city. And the theme of our event today is education. It'll climax with the launch of our new booklet, Is Our Education System Failing Our Children? And it's available for the very reasonable price of £5, and you won't be let out unless you buy a copy today. Launch will take place in the church hall around about 4:15, and there will be food and drink provided, so we'll all look forward to that. As this place apparently is in use tomorrow, we need to be cleared out by 5:30 p.m. at the latest. So it's great of Des McKeown, the custodian here, to let us have this building, and I just want to say a big thank you to him. Before we get started then, I'm going to ask Raymond just to say a few words about this building that we're now in. Raymond.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to this very historic 1783 church, non-subscribing Presbyterian. But talking about education, I just noticed over here there's a plaque to a man called John Scott Porter, who believed way back in the 1850s he was pushing for integrated education. So very appropriate to say so. I am privileged to be, for the last 20 years, the historian of the church, 22 years in Queens and also here. But the beauty of it is, and I know if anybody here is from Belfast, I know Belfast people walk past here, don't give it a second look, because architecturally it doesn't draw you in. Then those sort of people, whenever I've got them inside and you tell them the depth of history, not just of Belfast, but of Irish history as such. You know, you have Dr Raymond, remember here, who's the man come up with the idea of United Irish as such. To the right there, I heard you mention the other person, but over to the right-hand side, Thomas McCabe, watchmaker and jeweller, who in 1786 prevents these rich merchants setting up the Belfast Slave Ship Company. Now, it took up to 1807 before in England, it was banned there. As I say, Thomas McCabe just sat just over there. Just two of the many people that you find here, as I say, so even upstairs, Dalsale Finlay, in the Northern Wiggles newspaper, that's where he sat. You know, Tom Tennant over here, one of the founders of the Northern Bank, United Irishman. Thomas McCabe as well, I mentioned about the anti-slavery. Also, he and his son were both United Irish, you know. It's fantastic. That type, just quickly, non-subscribing, goes back to 1722. Two churches here, the first and the second. And they were told you had to accept a thing called the Westminster Confession of Faith. These two churches, being very liberal, said we couldn't subscribe to that. So ever since then, they've been known as non-subscribing Presbyterian churches. There's 31, I think, in Northern Ireland, one in Dublin and one in Cork. But just to highlight again how liberal they are, I'm the Catholic historian for the last 20 years of the Protestant church. Today, normally at 1:15, if you can pass there, you'll see a sign on the door, back soon, going to Mass at St Mary's. You know, but it just sums them up as such, you know. So it's very appropriate, talking about education, to and welcome everybody, as I say. So anybody who lives in Belfast, remember, any time you're in town, always free, come on in. There's lots more, as I say, to see. You've got, just over here, you've got No Harlan of Harlan and Wolff. Over here, Thomas Andrews, Titanic fame. There's loads of like that, you know. So enjoy the evening, okay?